Okay, here's our next special right triangle. So I did a little, you might remember, I don't know when you did constructions. It's fun to play around with the compass and straight edge. You know, your compass just holds a set distance so you can spin around and make circles, right? And you can mark out arcs, and then you got it in the straight edge, and you can construct all these things. And one of the first ones that falls out is if I place this here and make an arc, and then I go to the other side of that straight line, I make an arc. Well, then this is the same length as this, same length as this, so I've made an equilateral triangle. If I connect this peak to this peak, then I've made an equilateral triangle. Has, this would be a 60 degrees, and this is 60 degrees, so half of 60 degrees, 30 degrees. So there's our next special right triangle, is half an equilateral triangle. The 30, 60, 90, that's talking about the degrees, right? 90 degree angle. So we did 45, 45, 90, now we do 30, 60, 90. Okay, so I would like you to give it your best shot here. Remember the Pythagoras theorem, and go from Pythagoras theorem, find all the sides, and my suggestion here is go with a 1 right here, okay? This long side's a 1 by 1 by 1, okay? And think about it. There's one more little wrinkle to this one, and then do sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent of, we'll do 60 and 30, okay? Shoot. Let me make enough room for this. So make enough room. You're on your paper, you can go, well, let's go sine of 60, cosine 60, tangent 60, cotangent, secant, cosecant 60. Okay, you just do those, and then I'll go through them. Okay, so ready, pause, find those. Okay, once again, we're going to, let me do it, I'll do it over here where I have a little room. We need to figure out these other two sides if we're going to do our trig ratios, right? We got to have all our sides. So, well, look at this side right here. This is 1, correct? Because I got an equilateral triangle. This is 1, and I cut it in half. Half. Okay, so then if I want to find this side here, I want to find this other leg, I've got half squared plus, I don't know, leg squared. L squared equals 1 squared. A half squared is 1/4 plus L squared equals 1. L squared equals 3/4. Take the square root of both sides, right? Square root gets rid of my squared. So I got L equals the square root of 3 over square root of 4 is 2. All right. So now we have our three sides. Square root of 3. Congratulations if you figured all this out on your own already. You already knew how to do this. If you didn't, here we go. Now we have it set up. We got all our angles, and we have all our sides figured out. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to go with 60 degrees first. Sine opposite over hypotenuse. Ooh, nice. Okay, we got a 1 there. Boy, that makes it easy. Square root of 3 over 2. Cosine adjacent over hypotenuse. 1/2. Tangent. It gets a little messier there, right? Opposite over adjacent. Square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2. Dividing by a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal, multiply by the inverse, so that 2 will go away, right? Square root of 3 over 2 times 2, square root of 3. Cotangent, I could just flip that over. But let's do it here. Cotangent is adjacent over opposite. So 1/2 divided by square root of 3 over 2. Flip it over, we'll wind up with 1 over square root of 3 equals square root of 3 over 3. Because you multiply by square root of 3 over square root of 3. Okay. Secant. We know we're going to be flipping over cosine. So, yeah, 1 divided by 1/2. Cosecant. Hypotenuse divided by that. So we'll flip that over. We're going to have 2 over the square root of 3 times square root of 3 over square root of 3 equals 2 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, now here's an interesting thing we're going to do. And this goes to, I think they were showing this, I don't know, it's in lesson 3 or 4. One of the two. It's getting a little long, but let's go back up. We'll go back, well, here we go. We'll just do it down here. Sine of 30 degrees. So I would like for you to right now pause this video. I know this is getting a little long, so you'll pause it and do sine, cosine. I was thinking about tangent already. Cosine of 30, tangent of 30. All your 6 trig ratios for 30 degrees. Ready? Pause. Okay, you're back. Tangent of 30, cotangent of 30. Maybe you already see the trick here. I don't know. Secant of 30 and cosecant of 30. Okay, so if I do sine of 30, so 30 is up here now. So sine of 30, opposite divided by, is 1/2. Aha! So these are ones they want you to memorize, and maybe in the next lesson I'll line them up in the unit circle again. But anyways, you see that the sine of 30 is the same as the cosine of 60. So these are complementary angles, right? They add up to 90 degrees. They're the other two angles in a right triangle, right? So cosine of 30, what do you think it'll be? Without even looking over here, sine of 60, right? Sine of 60 opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of 30 adjacent over hypotenuse. The same thing, okay? So all these little relationships within triangles, is what trigonometry is. Okay, tangent of 30 is going to be half over this. It's going to be the same thing as cotangent. Square root of 3 over 3. Cotangent of 30 will be the same thing as tangent of 60. Square root of 3. Getting a little messy here, sorry. Secant. Alright, let's make sure we get secant correctly. Secant is the inverse of cosine. So to be the inverse of this, it should be the same as cosecant of this one. Isn't that crazy? Okay. 2 square root of 3 over 3. Cosecant of 30 is the inverse of sine. The sine would be half. It better be 2. And it better be the inverse of secant. Alright. Or, I mean, the same as the secant of 60. So look at all these relationships within triangles, alright? That's what trigonometry chapter is all about. Relationships within triangles. So here's your other special one. 30, 60, 90 triangle. And the trig ratios of 60 and 30. And if you want to put those in a chart form, they've already got it in your book. And I suggest drawing out your unit circle and doing those trig ratios. I'll probably do it again. This one got a little long again. All right, one more video on lesson 3.